Yes, I, brothers and sisters. I hope everyone's well. Good morning and a happy Thursday to everybody. I thought I'd come on briefly and give a big thank you to everybody that come over to Spain to support me in the world title fight there at the weekend. You know, what an event. What an event to be part of. You know, I was astounded when all the figures and that come back. You know, I was the second biggest ticket seller on that card. I was only beaten by one lad, and he lives in Marbella. So, you know, couldn't be any more happy with the numbers that I've done. And all the people that tuned in and watched from home, you know, a big thank you to them as well. Everybody that got behind us and showed support, you know, I'm still pinching myself, you know, to be part of an event like that. What an experience, you know, praise God. It's the biggest show I've ever had anything to do with by far. The whole week over there beforehand, we were just treated like kings. Everything was on the house. You know, I've never been treated like that before, you know. And walking around Marbella, we had names up in lights, posters, banners, just everywhere. Getting stopped by everybody all day, pictures and autographs. You know, I never in a million years ever thought I would be living this life. You know, a life that's far exceeded my wildest dreams. You know, what a time to be alive. The BKFC have really raised the bar with that show. And it was a privilege to be part of that show, you know, the debut on DAZN. You know, who'd have ever thought I'd have been fighting live on DAZN, you know, for a world title. And I was very well paid. You know, I'm just made up. You know, I'm made up. I'm so blessed and so grateful to be on this journey and to have done the things that I've done. You know, if somebody had told me 2.5 years ago when I was starting out in this BKFC game that I would have been part of a show that big, you know, that I would have Conor McGregor in my inbox and I'd be fighting for a world title on a stage that big, you know, I would have never in a million years believed it. You know, I've been speaking to Conor yesterday and he said some nice things to us, and I've got to have a think about what I'm doing next. You know, it's the window is it's closed almost, really. You know, I'm 39 years old. And the fight itself, listen, the facts are, you know, I'm just not good enough. You know, I am simply not good enough to compete at that level. The Jared Warren fight, I always put that down to just a bad night. I had a lot of stuff going on that week and I just couldn't get myself going on fight night, and I just put it down to a bad night. After sharing the ring with Dave Mundell, I think the reality of it is, you know, I'm simply not on that level. You know, I'm not good enough to compete with these men, you know, and I'm levels and levels away from even being able to compete with Dave Mundell, you know, and I can accept that. You know, I accept that for what it is because it's the truth, you know, and that's how combat sports works, you know. For all, I never stopped believing in myself. Even when I was getting put down, I was on my knees thinking, right, he's going to rush in now. You know, you're going to catch him now. And I never stopped believing in myself, you know, and that felt good. Even after the fight when they called it off, and rightly so, you know, I was in a good place. I was pleased to be acquainted with Dave Mundell, you know, and getting to speak to him a little bit after the fight, and him and his team. They're just great people, you know, they're professionals and great people, you know, and to be beat up by the world middleweight champion is like it's like a badge of honour around here. You know, I'll wear that with pride. I've had one hell of a career with the BKFC. For all it's been short-lived. What a journey it's been from Wembley 2.5 years ago. You know, I've had 2 main events, 2 co-main events, feature fights. You know, I've won a British title. I've defended a British title. I've been all over the country fighting for the BKFC. And now I've been to Spain for a world title fight. You know, it doesn't get much better. And, you know, for my skill set and for the level that I'm on, you know, I've done extremely well. The only 2 people I've lost to are 2 world champions. You know, so I can sleep at night. You know, I can rest my head on the pillow at night knowing full well, you know, that I simply wasn't good enough. Combat sport doesn't really work like that. You know, you can't come from where I've come from, only being in a gym for 2.5 years, you know, and expect to beat these lads who's been in the gym and been competing and training for decades. You know, these lads that are on the top of the game in all aspects and disciplines of combat sports, they've been doing it since they were kids. You know, you don't just go into a gym for a couple of years and climb all the way to the top. That's why I know I'm blessed. You know, I'm blessed, and I'll be eternally grateful, you know, for the opportunities that I've been given by the BKFC. And I get it, you know, they hadn't matched Dave Mundell for a while, and it was like, the champion needs a snack. You know, I get it. We've got this lad from England who'll just fight anybody, loves it. And I will fight anybody, and I'd fight him again in the morning, you know, but when all the dust settles, you know, you see things for what they are. You know, for one, I'm not good enough. And for two, you know, do I really just want to stick around fighting anybody, jumping in and fighting all the men that nobody else will fight? Maybe once upon a time, but, you know, as it stands now, you know, I'm 39 years old. I've had one hell of a run. I've gained myself a good profile. I got paid well for that fight. And there's a lot of good things on the horizon. You know, I'm looking at some lockups and that. I'm thinking about starting my own gym in the town, doing classes and hiring it out, and, you know, so on and so forth. I've got an investment coming back in a couple of weeks. You know, financially, we're going to be flying. But, you know, to do all this round a full-time job, you know, I did take a little bit of time off last time. But to get this far around a full-time job, you know, I got bills. I got 5 kids. That's 5 sets of problems. I drive a 12-plate Skoda. You know, I'm no star. You know, I'm not a star. But I've soaked up every second of this journey. And if that's me with the BKFC and I decide not to go on with it, then, you know, that's cool. There's a lot of other things I can be on with. And it's maybe just about changing perspective and changing direction. But, you know, something I don't have any regrets at all. I give it me all. I had one hell of a fight camp, by the way. You know, I come in hot. I come in the best shape I'd ever been in my life. You know, but it's one thing getting it right in the gym and drilling certain steps and certain combinations thousands and thousands of times. Then it's one thing getting it right in sparring with, you know, pretty decent opponents. But it's a whole other world when you're in there in real time with an operator like that in front of you, you know, and you're trying to pull the trigger. And I was so focused and so engrossed in the fight in that moment at the time, I thought I was going to be able to do what we'd been implementing in the gym. I thought I was going to be able to pull the trigger on that, and I just couldn't. You know, I just couldn't. I accept that I'm simply not good enough. You know, my motor functions and that have slowed down considerably in the last couple of years. I've seem to have been punched and kicked all my life. You know, I think it's seriously time now to look after myself, you know, to spend some time with my loved ones. And I've got the woman of my dreams there, you know, and we've got a fantastic life that awaits us. So many amazing, beautiful things on the horizon. And, you know, I think it's about time that I took a rest and, you know, done some reflection and just give it some time, and before I make any decisions, see what I want to do, you know, see how I feel. See what I want to do in a little while, because, you know, I'm incredibly grateful. And yeah, that's all I've got to say for now. Thank you for listening, brothers and sisters. God bless you all. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye for now.